Hello everyone and welcome back. This is your boy Ryan and I'm here to share with you my take on the new Reaper minion for 3.15 Expedition League. So this is gonna be an experimental build and I will also be league starting with this, and this is gonna be a full cold conversion for the new Reaper minion. Although the gem inherently has bleed chance and increased damage with bleeding, but scaling bleed damage through minions is very weird, and I have no idea if there are even any items that can do such a thing. So I went for a safe route and I went with cold damage conversion with the Reaper. So let's take a look into it with the skill tree, setup of skills, and also the gear choices for the minion build, the Reaper minion build. Although the POB never got updated for the league, so the Reaper gem is not in the POB yet. I am supplementing it with Carrion Golem, so the damage numbers will be vastly different when the Reaper minion actually comes out and gets added into the POB. So with that said, let's take a look into the skill tree and ascendancy for the Reaper minion. We're gonna be a Witch, Necromancer, standard tree, same as the Cold Conversion Syndicate Operative Spectre build for my other league starter guide. It is going to be exactly the same tree. We start from the Witch pathing area and then we grab all the minion nodes, life nodes, and of course our standard elemental equilibrium combined with Avatar of Fire and necromantic aegis combined with our victorious charity for frenzy and power charge generation. And then we grab all the minion nodes and defenses as we go through the tree. Some aura reservation nodes here to run all of our auras and have enough mana for all these spells to be casted. And I grabbed one dexterity node, big dexterity node here and here to supplement if I can get the gears for it. When I get the gears though, these will be taken off and I'll put them into life nodes somewhere else on the tree. But I did add a few extra unique jewels on the tree, as you can see. I will explain them when I get to the gear section of the build. Important notes though, the two main notable that you wanna get early in this league would be Quick Recovery and Mystic Bulwark for extra mana regeneration, so we can cast all our spells, the triggered spells as well as the spells actually that are gonna be casted through Arcanist brand. So they did not say anything about mana being required to cast spells through Arcanist brand, but I don't know yet. So having a large mana pool should be a safe bet. Also in the passive tree down here, I have added a few other passive trees for the early game and for the switch when you go into Reaper, and then an end game tree with no clusters. For the early game, you want to path up and get minion instability as soon as you can, and then get a 3-link any gear at the start. Your 3-link first will be a Summon Raging Spirit linked to minion damage, and then Infernal Legion. Combined Infernal Legion with minion instability will carry you through up to Act 8 when you can switch into the Reaper. Although when you defeat Brutus on Act 1 and you will get access to Summon Skeleton, you can replace Summon Raging Spirit with Skeletons. It feels a lot better than Summon Raging Spirit, and that should be enough. Combined with Zombies and of course your Skitterbots linked to Infernal Legion will carry you all the way through the acts up to Act 28, and you can replace all of your gears and spec into the actual Reaper tree. Respecking would be just 1 point where you take off minion instability and then you path towards the other points on the passive tree. And also after that, let's take a look at the ascendancy points real quick. So for ascendancy wise, it's gonna be the same standard minion. First lap we go Mindless Aggression, second lap Unnatural Stern. This is minion damage and this is plus level of minion gems. More tanky, more damage on the minions. And then third lap will be Commander of Darkness. This is gonna be for the resistance capping and also boosting damage of our minions. Finally, on the 4th lab, we're going to get Mistress of Sacrifice. This is for Bone Offering combination, where you cast Bone Offering for block chance and regen for your minions, and you get half of the effect for yourself. This allows us to get a lot of block chance on the main character. Since also we are giving up our shield for our minions, this is gonna boost a lot of survivability for our main character. And as you all know, surviving is the key to the name of the game in this league. So with the passive tree and ascendancies done, let's look at the skill setup for the Reaper minion. So first will be our Reaper setup on our body armor, the 6th link. Of course, we don't have the gem, so we are supplementing with Carrion Golem. The links will be minion damage, Predator, melee damage with attacks, Malefice, and multi-strike. Although these are experimental, and I don't know if all the gems work. I suppose they work because Reaper is a melee attack-based minion. So this should be the preferable setup for our main skill. And then for the food for the Reaper to consume will be skeletons. This is gonna be skeletons, Link to Feeding Frenzy, GMP, and Spell Echo. This is gonna be for the late game. And for early game, you want the same setup as the not Carrion Golem, but the Reapers with Malefice, Multi-Strike, and Feeding Frenzy. When you get the unique jewel, the Dread Reckoning, where you summon skeleton mages instead of melee skeletons, then you switch to this one with Spell Echo, Feeding Frenzy, and GMP. This also helps to clear maps. I suspect that Reaper will have very low AoE clearing for maps, so they will be a great asset to that. Next, our movement skills on the gloves. It's gonna be Phase Run, Dash, Second Wind. Dash and Second Wind, again, the same. We are gonna have a higher cooldown on Dash, so I prefer having 2 dash charges for emergency situation. And then a Val Haste on Link. This is not going to be turned on. The haste aura is not going to be turned on. We're just going to use the Val Haste for bossing only and nothing else. Then on the boots, we have our Arcanist brand setup. This is to bypass the huge mana cost and sustain issue when it comes to the new mana cost problems for triggered spells. So I went with an Arcanist brand with Desecrate and Bone Offering for our offering setup. And then Frostbite as a curse, because we are scaling cold damage. We're going to be fully cold damage. So Frostbite. Until we get the unique gloves where we can start scaling cold damage, the other curse that you can use is probably going to be vulnerability or punishment in that regard as well. Both can work, or Assassin's Mark even. For after our utilities, we have a guard and aura. On our weapon 1, we have Skitterbots linked to Bone Chill for extra cold damage. This is again, Skitterbots we're going to be running from the start. Bone Chill support only after we get full conversion into cold. Then we have Steel Skin. This is for our guard skill buff. For our auras, on our weapon 2, we have Hatred linked to Generosity. This is our main and only aura. And then we have Convocation to control our minions. And on our 2 unset rings, we have Frostbomb. This is for the exposure and elemental equilibrium. And then Tempest Shield, another guard skill. You can easily replace this with a Stormbrand if you wanna. You can actually replace this with a Stormbrand or a Orb of Storms if you want more elemental equilibrium proccing during the maps, because the monsters will be quite tanky this patch, so you might want to consider that as well. So this is the skill and gem links for the new Reaper minion. And then after this, let's move on to the items. So for our items, I left everything open because all of these slots can be filled with rare gears for life and resistances and attributes where needed. The only mandatory uniques I have listed here. First one will be Shield, Laminated Kite Shield, Victorious Charity. This is for power and frenzy charges combined with Necromantic Aegis. Then our gloves, the Triad Grip Mesh Gloves with 4 green socket. This is a must. This is the build defining item to convert all physical into cold damage. Then our belt, Darkness Enthroned, very cheap, very effective with 2 Ghastly Eye Jewels with life and minion damage. And if you want, you can get minion taunts and minion blind on hit as well on the Ghastly Eye jewels. And two unique jewels that I am using on the tree. One will be Dread Reckoning. This is to summon skeleton mages instead of melee warrior skeletons. We put this here. So we have 40 intelligence on the radius, and now it summons skeleton mages instead of regular skeletons. And then on this slot, it's an anatomical knowledge. This adds a ton of flat life into our build. And on this slot, it has a lot of dexterity. So this is an option. It's easily replaceable with any kind of normal rare jewel with minion damage and life. That will work as well. So this is all the unique mandatory items. For our boots, I have another not mandatory, but I do have another suggestion. The Atziri Step, this boot can be really good. It has a ton of life, a lot of movement speed, and also chance to dodge spell damage can be a really good defensive option as well. But any rare boot with lots of life, resistances, attribute, and dexterity, most probably the only attribute needed, can be really good on this slot as well. For the upgrade purposes though, I would say that try to get a Elder based helmet with plus level of minion gems, and socketed gems are supported by some level of minion damage as the helmet. And for the wand, it is really cheap to get a +1 wand, the +1 level of all spell skill gem wand, or not just wand, but any kind of weapon will work as long as it is a one-handed weapon. This will boost all of your Reaper damage because it will boost the level of that gem. So other than that, you can get, when upgrading, +2 weapon, really expensive helmets, +2 boots. But I will be releasing a min-max guide later on with cluster setup and all the other things. For the bandits, kill them all for 2 passive points. And Pantheon will be Lunaris and Shakari. And now some final thoughts about the build. So this is a new skill gem, the Reaper. It's not even in the POB as well. So I have no idea what kind of skill this is gonna turn out to be. It might be completely garbage, or it might be completely the best super minion out there in the game right now. So if the build by any means turns out to be extremely horrible, it's very easy to switch into my Syndicate Operative, which is also a cold conversion based, and it is tried and tested, extremely powerful League starter build. It is a bit boring, but it will get the job done. It will carry you through the whole game on a very low budget. And that concludes my take on the cold conversion Reaper build. If you like this kind of content, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. This motivates me to make more videos. Recently, I'm seeing that people are not subscribing. It hurts my heart. Please go subscribe. This is very important. Go hit that button of subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video with more innovative builds. Hopefully. See you. And good luck out there with the new League Exiles.